Hello and welcome to Homegrown Veg. If you're new to gardening, and I suspect quite a few of you are now because we're all in lockdown and more people are spending more and more time in the garden and they would like to grow some vegetables. And this is one way that I grow vegetables here at Homegrown Veg. I use an ex-cut flower water bucket. This is a 10-inch water bucket. It's 10-inch across the top. And it's 10-inch deep. I want to talk about two vegetables today that are growing water buckets, these 10-inch water buckets. And you might want to upscale everything I say if you're growing 5-gallon buckets, because they tend to be just over twice as big as these 10-inch water buckets. Okay, so when I plant a potato in this 10-inch water bucket, I start by putting 2 inches of soil in the bottom, that amount of soil. I sit the potato on top of that and I fill the bucket. So roughly speaking, 2 inches below the potato, 8 inches above it, there or thereabouts. And the reason I do that is that I've learned from experience that all the action in this bucket will be above the potato. What do I mean by all the action? Let me show you this. This is a potato that should have gone in a long time ago. As you can see, there are 2 chits, that one and that one. What I've found over the years is that potatoes that have few chits produce few potatoes, but they're generally bigger potatoes. A potato like this one that has lots of chits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A potato that has lots of chits will produce lots of top growth. It'll produce lots of potatoes, but those potatoes will be smaller. So you can have lots of potatoes but smaller, fewer potatoes but bigger. Another trick that some gardeners like to do is to take off a chit. Simple as this. That's it, it's gone. Now this potato is only growing from 1 chit now, but as you can see, it's got all these growing from the chit. There is nothing growing from the base of that potato. If that potato was in that 10-inch bucket, it would be sitting on soil like that and covered up, and all the action will take place above that potato. Roots will grow, perhaps even more shoots will grow, who knows. This one will break the surface, potatoes will form, but they're all above the seed potato in that bucket. And I know this because when I turn the bucket out, by turning it over and turning it out and making sort of a sand castle, the top couple of inches, remember we're now upside down, the top couple of inches only has the seed potato in it. The rest were growing above the potato. All the new potatoes grow above that potato. And I have a potato growing down here. I can just reach it. And so far, this is just that single chit has broken the surface. It's throwing roots out into that soil. It might even be swelling some small potatoes, I don't know. But if I only get that one stem of top growth, I would expect the potatoes in this bucket to be bigger but fewer than had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chits broke the surface. Okay, let's pop this down on the floor again. Right, so we've done potatoes, and we need the potato near the bottom of the bucket because all the action takes place above the seed potato. And we want to try and bring all the soil in that bucket into play. And that's the way to do it. If you plant your seed potato too shallow, then most of that soil is below the seed potato and it leaves less space above the potato for new potatoes to develop. Bring this bucket back into shot. Okay, so that's how we do it with potatoes. Now what about leeks? Well, I've actually grown leeks that are 12 inches long, and these buckets, as I've already told you, are only 10 inches tall. So what I tend to do is, if you've ever planted leeks before, and particularly in a raised bed, the usual method of planting a leek is to use a dibber. That's a stick. Shove it in, wiggle it about, make a hole, shove it in, wiggle it about, make a hole. A row of holes. You get your leek seedlings, drop them in those holes and water them in. So the base of the leek tends to be 5 or 6 inches below soil level. Now if I was to do that in this bucket, the base of the leek would be about there. It's a little spider. It's on camera. Whee! The base of the leek would be about there. Now the roots would grow down, so the roots would grow into the bottom 5 inches of the pot, but the top 5 inches of the pot wouldn't be available to the roots because the roots grow down. So most of the soil in this pot would not be available to the roots. So the way around that is to plant your leeks shallow, and I usually put them in no more than an inch into the bucket. Okay, so now we've got 9 inches worth of soil in there for those roots to develop into, and I've got to tell you now, when you grow leeks in buckets, you'll see a root ball when you take that leek out. Leeks produce a big root ball. So it's important that you make most of the soil, or as much as you can of the soil in the bucket, available to the roots of the leek. So don't plant them too deep. Okay, so I hope you've learned a little in this quick video. I picked all this up through experience. There's lots of videos on the channel. There's certainly lots of videos of me emptying these buckets out, and you'll just see how many potatoes can be got from a small 10-inch water bucket. 2 or 3 pound isn't unusual. And I always, because this is a small bucket, just the 1 seed potato. You can go 2 if you like, you can go 3 if you like. I think it'd be overcrowding a small bucket like this. In a 5-gallon bucket, obviously, you've more room. You maybe want to go 2 or 3 seed potatoes, but just 1 in a 10-inch water bucket will deliver you 2 to 3 pound of potatoes. Hey, how good is that? How much do you want from something this big? That would be a result, wouldn't it? You need to give this a go. And as for the leeks, I would normally plant 4 leeks to a 10-inch water bucket, but I have in fact planted 10 before. At the end of the growing season, when I had 10 left over, I stuck them in, and hey, I got a result. Just have a look on the channel, 10 leeks growing in a bucket, something like that. And as for potatoes, yep, there's loads of videos on the channel. Check them out. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope it's been informative. If there's anything I haven't explained very well, just come back to me with a comment and we'll try and sort it out between us. Okay, this is Homegrown Veg, signing out.